you're going to make this event a regular on your calendar, Craig? Obviously, defending champ, come back as defending champ next year.
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, it's hard to schedule 1 year in advance. You know, I just like to take it 1 year at a time. I haven't thought really past Kona in October, so I mean, it all depends what happens at that race and whether I race through and do Clearwater or even the ITU Long Course Worlds in Perth. So, I mean, it's all dependent on what your last race of the year is and then where your break is and then when you resume training. So, you know, it's pretty hard to do these races on fumes. You know, you've got to have a little bit of fitness behind you. Even, as I said, you know, I'm not 100% fit, not even close to it, but I've got a lot of strength and endurance miles in my legs. So I think if you came down here off the minimum training, you know, it could hurt you a little bit. So I'd love to come back though. It's always nice to try and defend a title at a race.
You're happy to spread the word about the event to your overseas competitors? Obviously, you've got a lot of respect in the Ironman world. Is this one you might be saying, hey guys, worth coming out to Geelong?
No doubt. I mean, I think all the guys all around the world watch the internet and they watch all the press anyway. They'll read the results of this race and you know, the 70.3 series is booming. It's a series that, you know, the triathlon world's been crying out for. You know, there's a series for Olympic distance and you've also got Ironman racing. But I think, you know, our sport's been crying out for a series of this distance races for a long time. And, you know, I think Australia can support more than one or two of them for sure. I mean, at this time of year, a lot of the local guys are back here training and there's a lot of internationals in Australia racing. So as I just said to Noel, if we put on a big race, you'd be surprised at this time of year the field you would attract. You know, I mean, this race, it's only in its second year and already you saw the field you attracted this year, and I think it'll be bigger and better next year.
In terms of your preparation, Craig, obviously had some issues getting out of LA and a bit of jet lag, and yesterday was the hottest day ever recorded in Victoria. I mean, in terms of your preparation and what you've achieved today, you must be pretty happy with the outcome because you know there's still a fair bit more to come.
Definitely very happy. I mean, I must say it wasn't too hot in my hotel room with the air conditioner on though, so. But I mean, you know, travelling to LA, it's all part and parcel. If you're from Australia, you know, and you're not prepared to travel, and you may as well give up because, you know, a lot of racing's in the Northern Hemisphere, and you know, I had an awards dinner to go to, so that was very important for my sponsors. And you know, I've travelled my whole career, and it's never really been an issue for me. I've always travelled well, so you know, I didn't know I was going to be going to LA when I scheduled this race in, but you know, it worked out well. I think it gave me a chance to freshen up a little bit. So, if anything, I think the travel helped me prepare for this race. But yeah, this is a great race. I think IMG have got a good thing going here. I think it always helps to have a race in a great location. You know, that's one hook you've got to attract people, and you know, certainly from a professional's perspective, to have a big race at this time of year, you know, there's a lot of internationals in Australia training, so it can only help to have races on.
Absolutely, and in terms of yourself, I mean, the 70.3, you've talked about it being a fantastic format, and certainly with a headline act like yourself, it really does enhance the races and obviously attracts other great athletes to be a part of it.
I think so. I think this race will only get bigger and better and will attract better and better fields. As I said, you saw the improvement this year from last year, and you know, it's a real shame Leon Griffin wasn't here to defend his title because in my opinion, over this distance, he's one of the best guys in the world, very underrated guy, and also a local guy from Melbourne. So, but you know, for my own part, I'm really happy with where I'm at. It's only, you know, the first week in February, and I had to try and get fit earlier because of this race, and I've got a few sponsorship commitments coming up. I'm going to have to take a week off here and there, so it's always good to be you know, ahead of schedule with your fitness, just because of those things like, you know, sponsorship commitments and that kind of thing where maybe you can't get the training in that you need to. So, you know, I'm really happy with where I'm at.
Crowie, what's the first full distance event you'll be doing? Which?
First Ironman?
Yeah.
October, mate. That's the only one. Yeah.
No talk of you going to Roth?
No, not really. I mean, I've had a lot of invitations and certainly a lot of those races. Like, I've heard a lot about Roth and Frankfurt as well. But I mean, I like to race a lot, and I think if you're serious about performing well in an Ironman distance race, there's obviously a certain lead-up period and then a certain recovery period, and I like to race a lot, you know what I mean? I go to the US, it's where my sponsors are based, and I like to do some of the lifetime races, certainly Minnesota. Being a defending champ there, I'll always go back to that race, and that's in July. I normally do an Olympic distance race in Anthony's in April, and also Philadelphia in June. So
you keep your preparation pretty similar to what you do?
Yeah, you know, it's not, I mean, I don't think it's not, I guess, something looking forward to Kona. I think you can only do one. I mean, I think Mark Allen always said you can do 2 Ironman races in a year successfully, and maybe next year that's something I'll look at, but for me the enjoyment side of things is I like to race. I like this distance and I like the Olympic distance, and you know, there's a lot of races I've committed to. So I mean, it'd be very hard to do Frankfurt in July when you've got Lifetime Fitness there, and also Boulder Peak and Vineman and a couple of other races. So you know, and travelling with a family too, that's another consideration. When we leave Australia, we're based in Colorado. So once we're in the US, I don't like to venture too far from the family. Then I just go to and from the races for the weekend. And being in Boulder, you know, you fly to Denver, it's pretty central. You can fly anywhere in the US in a couple of hours and leave on the Friday, race Sunday, and be back Sunday night. So that's been a successful recipe for me.
About to be a dad again?
Yeah, Neri's 29 weeks, so that'll certainly liven things up around our house. But no, it's good. I mean, it's one of the great things in life, you know, as any dad knows. So I'm really looking forward to it. Lucy's 3.5 now, and I think she's ruling the roost, which is probably my fault. She needs to share the universe, so it'll be good.
All right, mate. Thanks for that.